Subchapter 8.2 Hierarchy of Controls. We will start from Hierarchy of Controls since it's the first topic of Clause 8. Hierarchy of Controls. By control, we mean everything that your company puts in place to eliminate hazards, reduce risks. Operational controls can use a variety of methods. For example, the introduction of safe systems of work, preventative maintenance regimes, inspection programs, and regular reviews on the competency of workers. But the standard is really clear on this point when choosing what to do for OHS. It should follow an overall hierarchy. How is this hierarchy structured? Globally, the following principle is always valid. Before doing anything that aims at risk reduction, our company should do everything that is possible to eliminate the hazard in the first place. In the next slide, we'll dive into details. The so-called hierarchy of controls is made of these steps. Elimination. Eliminate the dangers. Substitution. Replace with less dangerous processes, operating activities, materials, or equipment. Engineering controls. Use technical design measures and reorganize the work. Administrative controls. Use organizational measures, including training. PPE. Use suitable PPE. Think of it as a reverse pyramid. What lies at the top is more important, and therefore has to be done or evaluated before. And what stands at the bottom is less critical, and has to be done only as a last resort. Let's do an exercise together. We could think of our example of a cheese factory as a very noisy factory, in which most of the noise comes from its machineries. What should the OHS specialist do in an ISO 45001 company? The first thing we should try is step 1, elimination. Hazard elimination could be done by changing completely how your factory makes cheese. Since this is not very likely, we have to move forward in the hierarchy. So, we could try step 2, which is substitution. It could be done by replacing the dangerous with non-dangerous, such as changing the old machinery with new and less noisy machinery. Of course, this is not always possible, because maybe your company can't really afford new machines. Or maybe the machines it has are not that old. Or maybe silent machines, for this specific task, just don't exist. As you may think, these two steps are quite strong. They ask your company to change drastically. But your company is not forced to do the first and second step. It just has to prove that when it evaluates the risks, at least these steps are always taken into consideration. So, let's move to step 3, engineering controls. A good way to eliminate hazards could be changing the factory layout. Maybe most of the work could be done in another area in which the noise level is significantly lower. Only after we tried to eliminate the hazard, then we could go through the path of risk reduction. This could be achieved through implementing protective measures, such as insulating the machinery, or providing and ensuring the use of personal protective equipment, such as ear protection. If it's not possible, let's move to step 4, administrative control. The fourth way would be giving workers specific training to teach them how to operate in order to spend as little time as possible near the noisy machines. And finally, the fifth step, PPE. The final resort that has to be done only after the ones before is giving PPE to all your workers. The moral of the story is that a company that is 45001 certified should somehow prove that all the possible measures were taken, and of course that the correct hierarchy has been followed. You can't just give PPE to your workers without at least trying to solve the problem at the root. This is usually done through technical meetings, at the end of which a technical report is written. Periodically, ideally at least once a year, the organization should do these technical meetings in order to improve continuously the way it takes care of all of its EHS issues.